Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or even good night. We are Group 5 from Critical Listening class. In this video, we're going to discuss about an environmental issue. But the issue is about deforestation, with titled One Health, Ecology, and Health. In this discussion, we're going to talk about the path towards a greener future and how forest conservation stops global pandemic before they begin. Before we going to discuss, I would like to introduce ourselves with me, Helena Heredita Prasanti, with my two partners, Naysila Dwi Ardhani and Rachma Lovenda Harun. This material were created by us. Also, the presentation will be held by us. For the first part, I would like to talk about the massive scale and strategic importance of the Amazon. There are three main points here: the numbers, global climate regulations, and the reality check. The Amazon spans across 9 South American nations. Roughly 60% lies inside Brazil. It is home to millions of people, including over 400 distinct indigenous communities who act as historical guardians. Also, boasting billions of trees, the Amazon acts as a critical global carbon sink. It absorbs massive amounts of carbon dioxide while regulating continental rainfall patterns essential for local agriculture. A rainforest under threat. Deforestation driven by logging and cattle ranching is destroying massive ecosystem. Combined with warming temperatures, intense forest fires are pushing the Amazon toward a dangerous ecological tipping point. Once this tipping point is crossed, portions of the lush wet forest will transform permanently into dry, carbon-emitting savanna landscape.
Next, I will explain why deforestation is considered one of the biggest drivers of new pandemics. First, many infectious diseases that affect humans actually originate from animals. These are called zoonotic diseases. When forests are destroyed, humans and wildlife come into closer contact. As a result, the chance of disease spreading from animals to humans become much higher. This means that protecting forests is not only important for the environment, but also for preventing future disease outbreaks. One example of this is the Ebola outbreak in West Africa. Researchers linked the outbreak to a young boy in Guinea who had contact with an area inhabited by bats. The surrounding forest had already been heavily disturbed, increasing interaction between humans and displaced wildlife. This case shows how environmental disruption can contribute to the emergence of infectious disease. So, protecting forests means protecting humans' health by reducing deforestation and preserving biodiversity. We can lower the risk of future pandemics before they even begin.
So far, we've talked about the Amazon role in regulating our climate and how deforestation increases the risk of future pandemics. But here's the good news. Deforestation is not an impossible problem to solve. In these sections, we're going to discover that successful conservation efforts already exist, and they show us something important. Environmental projects can support local communities. When communities and forests are treated as partners, not competitors, real change happens. Let's look at the three powerful examples. Let's start with Brazil, one of the most remarkable environmental turnarounds in modern history. From 2004 to 2012, Brazil reduced Amazon deforestation by more than 80%. That's a not small improvement. That's a dramatic, measurable transformation. How they do it. Four key strategies made this possible. First, Brazil deployed satellite monitoring system. Advanced remote sensing technology that tracks deforestation in real time across the entire Amazon basin. Illegal logging could no longer hide. Second, the government strengthened the protection of indigenous territories. Indigenous communities are often the most effective guardian of forests, and securing their land rights gave them the legal power to protect what they knew best. Third, Brazil implements supply chain restriction. Products linked to deforested land were banned from markets. This closed the economic loopholes that made illegal clearing profitable. And fourth, this is what makes this story so important. Agricultural production continued to increase throughout this period. Brazil proved that you don't have to choose between economic growth and protecting nature. They can work together. In this is a model the world can learn from. Now let's move to another critical rainforest region, Borneo. In Borneo, we see a driven but equally powerful approach, one that puts local communities at the very center of conservation. As highlighted by Johannes Ziegler, TEDx talk, successful rainforest projects in Borneo are built on close cooperation with indigenous and local communities. And the key word here is cooperation, not imposition. Rather than sending experts from the outside to tell communities what to do, this initiative invites local people in as the primary decision makers and participants. The first pillar is local cooperation. Reforestation decisions flow from the ground up. Communities are partners, not bystanders. The second pillar is restoring degraded forests. Community members actively participate in replanting native species, turning degraded, cleared land back into living, thriving forest ecosystem. And the third pillar is shared responsibility. When local people feel a sense of ownership over their forests, conservation becomes part of their identity, not a rule imposed from outside. This creates stewardship that lasts far beyond any single project. The result, biodiversity is protected, forests recover, and communities gain a deeper connection to the land they live in. So, what are the actual results when we do this well? Let's look at the win-win outcomes of reforestation. When forests are restored, whether in Brazil or Borneo, the benefits ripple outward in five powerful ways. First, reforestation absorbs carbon dioxide. Forests act as carbon sink, pulling greenhouse gas out of the atmosphere and directly slowing climate change. Second, restored forests bring back wildlife habitats. As native trees return, wildlife corridors re-emerge, allowing animals to move, breed, and thrive again. Third, biodiversity improves dramatically. A single restored forest can shelter thousands of plant and animal species that would otherwise disappear. Fourth, healthy forests create ecosystem resilience. They buffer against drought, wildfires, and disease outbreaks, making the entire environment more stable. And fifth, there are real benefits for people. Local community can earn sustainable livelihood through ecosystem tourism, carbon credits, and sustainable harvesting, showing that caring for nature and building a livelihood are not opposites. Our key message is simple: human health, climate stability, and environmental protection are not separate issues. They are deeply interconnected. By protecting forests, we are also protecting our future. As this final slide reminds us, there is no human health without environmental health. Thank you for watching this presentation or explanation. We hope the information shared has been useful and insightful.